What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 538 of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk Podcast's Hot Tags of the Week. We're going to break down some of the stuff that's happened in the world of pro wrestling over the past few days, talk about what we feel like talking about, at least in, in this kind of headspace. I am Tony Mango. I've got with me Robert E. Felice.
Hey, Tony, how you feeling?
I'm clearing my throat a little bit here. I don't know why. For some reason, in the past couple minutes, I'm just needing to do a little da-da-da-da-da-da-da, if anybody gets it. If you do get it. Speaking of songs, by the way, here's a good little transition. Shout out to Peter for his latest album, which includes track number 8 on there is Cowboy, who's not on the podcast joining us today because we're recording it a little bit ahead of time, but Cowboy Callum Wiggins, yeehaw.
Yeehaw, indeed. Petey, Petey is the best guy we know. Look how nice he is. He wrote a song about our Callum. I'm referenced in that 90s song. He's got a song about The Undertaker called 30 Years of Death. I don't know if it's better or worse than 30 Years of Life because I ain't 30 yet. Tony, how do you feel about that?
I hate heading towards 35. Not a fan of it.
Oh, there you go.
30 Years of Death sounds the way that I feel. I'll link Peter's
link
thing in the
below.
chat. Not in the chat. We don't have a live chat going on right now. We have the description below. Yeah, I'll have that in there. So shout out to Peter for that. And, if you're clicking on that and whatever, you're on YouTube then. And if you are on YouTube, leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Unless you're already subscribed, then don't unsubscribe. That would be mean. And hit the share button, pass this along. Hit the thanks button to toss a little bit of a tip jar money our way. Click the join button as well. It's the same thing as the Patreon. So if you get access to the members only content like the Darkcasts and the Pick Your Poison tier, or if you just want to toss $1 our way, because that helps us keep the lights on here. Keep all that in mind. While we're just getting plugs out of the way, TeePublic and Redbubble. There you go. We'll do a Manscaped thing later on. Not going to hit you too much with all this ahead of time. But to be perfectly honest, there isn't a whole lot of hot tags going on right now. We are recording this on Thursday afternoon. We usually do this either Friday afternoon or Friday night. But this week was pretty much one of those, last week everything happened kind of deals.
And let me just say, it's about damn time. Like, the wrestling world has been just bombarded with bam, bam, bam. It was nice to get out of Dynamite and go, you know what?
No Bigelows?
Yeah, no Bigelows, just bam, bam. And it was nice to just go, hey, there wasn't a lot of breaking news type stuff.
I actually did not watch Dynamite yet. I usually record it, then I watch it a little bit later on Wednesday night just to be able to skip through the commercials and everything. But last night was one of those nights where I was just kind of like, I'm fucking tired. I'm just going to watch it tomorrow. And then that's today, and we're doing the podcast, so I haven't watched it yet. But I did check up the results. I saw that it didn't seem like a whole lot of things really happened for the most part. The only thing that caught my attention was we have the Blackpool Combat Club is seemingly the name of Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson.
That's what Moxley just spit it out. I don't know if that was like intentional.
It's a cool name.
It's a great name, and it's cool that Moxley and Danielson and Regal are a unit now. I was watching with my friend, and I'm like, "Do you ever think you'd see this? Like, AEW just has these weird moments where it's like that doesn't feel like it should be a thing, but it's a thing, and that's cool."
Yeah, I like the name. I've liked this group, of course, and I'm curious to see what happens in the future. But for the rest of like the TV talk side of things, I mean, we went through NXT when we did our NXT breakdown for Stand and Deliver. The Raw stuff, I mean, what is there really to talk about that we haven't already talked about in some fashion?
Veer. Veer's we know when Veer's coming.
Or at least we think we know when Veer's coming. They said it, but they could always change it. Because they're even changing when certain matches are happening on WrestleMania.
Oh, that did happen, which congratulations. You called it, but it didn't happen the way you thought. It happened in the reverse. They have now added another match to Saturday night.
Still want to use that GIF from The Living Daylights, though. I told you. I knew that they would switch things around because they don't care, But what is it now? It's Edge.
Edge and AJ Styles on Saturday. Now, my thought process is probably, fuck, Edge would want to work on Saturday night for. Like he probably enjoys WrestleMania Sunday. My guess is they're switching it so Rollins and Cody can be on Sunday. But let's start there with the Raw stuff. Rollins said Raw will not start next week until he has a WrestleMania match. How do you see this going? Do you see Cody interrupting him? Do you see Pierce or Sonya just being like, hey, we got you a match. Just show up. Or do you see it being like Undertaker comes out? I saw that on the Mega Maniacs chat. I think it was Dane that was like, this feels like it's setting up Undertaker. And I thought, that's so much better for what they're doing.
I'm assuming that the way that they typically do these kind of things, Rollins will start off the show in the ring and he'll sit down in a chair and he'll be like, I'm not leaving until I get a match. DeVille and Pierce will come out and say, hey, look, we're working on stuff or whatever. We promise you that by the end of the night, we're going to give you an answer and we're going to figure something out. Please just leave the ring. And then that way they can get along with the show, but they can tease the idea of, multiple times throughout the show, we might have an answer. You need to stay tuned for 3 hours, that kind of thing. But then we know that by the end of the night, Do
you think Cody Rhodes shows up before Sunday?
No.
Are you still of the belief that it's not Cody Rhodes?
Because
I guess we could talk about that.
I'm 60-40. I'm still thinking Cody is going to end up facing Seth Rollins. But that Undertaker pitch makes more sense to me.
Isn't that crazy? It's a random dude. I mean, like, Dane is a buddy of yours, but
right.
It's just a random dude.
Like, fundamentally, there isn't anything that they've hinted towards. Like, they haven't had, like, a gong go off or something like that.
Right, but that's an easier setup than, holy shit, here's a full-blown match with Cody. Because all due respect to Cody, it ain't the match with Cody. Cody is the promo where, holy shit, Cody Rhodes has abandoned the company that he founded and is now back in WWE. I think, and I did like a whole fantasy booking in my head of like what I would do. And part of it is just because Scott Hall passed away. And I was like, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Sounds a lot better for Cody than, hey, Cody Rhodes is here and he's just signed and he's going to have a match now. Like, imagine, if you will, Cody Rhodes does the whole, yeah, I'm here and I'm going to fight you, Rollins, but I'm not here to sing the praises of WWE. I'm here because you dicked me around the first time and I haven't forgotten. And also, by the way, I brought some friends, and it's like someone else that's doing good on the indies, like Ryder. You dicked him around, and now he's a big star too. So we're just going to tear this place apart. And then that's a better story than what it will likely be, which is Cody fights Rollins. They have a good match, and Cody's just the guy on the roster.
Yeah, because I'm far more interested in what Cody has to say and do rather than just seeing him in a match. Now, I'm interested in seeing Cody versus Seth Rollins, but that wouldn't even be one of the top 10 matches I would want to see him start off with, Like, the big match, of course, we can't really get, which is Cody versus Triple H. Highly doubt that that's ever going to happen. The cardiac event type of thing is going to be something that puts that in the...
combined with everything with NXT has just changed everything. Like Triple H, there's a weird possibility that Triple H might not ever be on TV again. Like, I don't think it would be that case, but it could happen.
I mean, he hasn't popped up since, so it's like, that's all we have to go by, But like, yeah, I'd be more interested with Cody versus Edge or Cody versus Roman Reigns, or, you know, there's a variety of different. Cody versus AJ Styles is a match that I care more about than the Seth Rollins match.
Honestly, Cody versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Cody versus Kevin.
Kevin Owens openly is the guy, much like Jericho said he made the call for 2.0. He also made the call to the Bucks for Cody. Hey, he's going on the Indies. Take care of him. You can tell more of a story with that than you, and have Austin beat up Rollins, who will flip and fly off of a stunner. You know, like, there's just different ways to do this, and I'm not sure that they knew what they were doing. They were just like, hey, we have Cody, we have Austin. Now what do we do with them?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I'll keep repeating it. I don't think that they've put any real thought into a lot of the matches at WrestleMania this year. I think that they really much just look at things as like, we secured a deal with Logan Paul. What can we do with him? We got a deal with Johnny Knoxville. What can we do with him? All right, well, we've got Ronda Rousey. She's secure. What can we do with her? Like, I think that that's kind of how they're looking at WrestleMania this year. So it's not so much a Seth Rollins thing as much as it's a, you know, well, we'll give them a big surprise kind of thing with Cody. It's not really a surprise if everybody knows it, but
even then, it's like, okay, but what's the story there? Like, I'm making the joke, oh, yeah, everybody thinks it's Cody versus Seth, but it's actually going to be, they're going to put the babies in the ring so they can go sneak off and have a nice quiet Saturday night, you know? They like, because what are they fighting for? Like, that to me, the weirdest thing going into this year's WrestleMania, and we'll talk way more about it next week, I'm super excited for Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. I think that match and the Roman and Brock match are like the two matches that I'm like, all right, I'm intrigued. The rest of it is just like, cool. What's Austin doing? By the way, I think that's headlining the show on Saturday.
It seems like it might be. They have it, like, if you go to Peacock, that's the graphic.
I think Austin and Owens is headlining. And what are Rollins and Cody going to do? I still say the smartest thing to do with Austin, if you're having this dude cut promos and talk on interviews saying, I'm getting ring ready, say, you know, man, this is nice, but I don't want to talk to you. I want to fight you in a match tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then boom, because you got social media, right? Like, now everybody's going to tune in on Sunday to see Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match. That's what I would do. I still think they should do it. But that's like, that stuff and the Veer stuff, that's all I really have to say about Raw. Like, yeah.
The only other thing is that they did, like, Omos is still teasing that he's going to do something at WrestleMania, but they haven't announced an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and the rumor is that he's going to fight Bobby Lashley, which they've done zero to build up, and the only thing would be, okay, Omos goes, I've beaten everybody who's big, and then Lashley comes out and says, yeah, well, I'm the almighty Bobby Lashley, and I'll beat you, and then that's like, okay, the whole build is literally just big guy versus big guy, god damn it, you know, that kind of thing.
But I'm all right with that.
I'm not for WrestleMania.
For these two, I'm fine with it. Because we didn't know what Lashley was doing. I think that would have been the plan regardless. And, you know...
it's still too weak for me. Especially with all the other matches that are like that, you know?
Yeah. So there is a new report from Fightful Select about a big nostalgia act. This is just coming in right now. Planned for WrestleMania. Would you like to see who it is?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. This is kind of sad now. WWE had tentatively planned for the NWO to be a part of WrestleMania to some degree. This is obviously ahead of the passing of Scott Hall. And it makes sense. They are, like, linked with the game and all that. So, I get it. But, again, now it's just sad because...
Yeah, you can't have one of the three founding members. The guy who kicked it all off, yeah.
And it's weird, too, because they they were a great unit, and it'll always feel strange now. Like, I don't know, when's the last time you really saw Nash without seeing Paul?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
The other thing on Raw was that they had set up this idea that Shayna Baszler and Natty, since the last time that we talked, Shayna Baszler and Natty are now in the tag team title match, and then they got to win over Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, so that way they can look a little stronger. And Zelina Vega and Carmella were fighting with each other, and then they're not fighting with each other. And
who's winning that tag match?
New champions are being crowned, but it's not going to be Baszler and Natty. So it's one of those, it's either Liv for Brutality, which they don't want to call them, or it's Banks and Naomi.
I think Banks and Naomi gets a bigger pop, but I think realistically, Liv deserves the fucking title win.
Yeah, at this point, why is she not at least a tag team champion? You know?
Like, a lot of people can say a lot of things about Naomi, deserving things, but like Naomi's also had things. Liv has been on the main roster for 4 years now and hasn't even gotten like a courtesy, here's the Battle Royal win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
not even a 24/7 title reign.
Yeah, like, give her something.
Yeah. Again, we'll talk about it next week, but you know, that's the TV stuff so far. NXT UK hasn't happened yet from when we were recording this.
No, we were going to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything huge that's going to happen. It's like, oh, Roderick Strong's not winning that title or something, you know?
Don't think that's a good match for us to deliver, though.
Could be, but then again, they're already packed. So you did mention Johnny Knoxville, and I wanted to add this to the hot tags. I watched Jackass Forever last night.
You did? Oh, man, I was going to try to convince you to do a watch along with that.
Yeah, well, Caroline and I just, on a whim, just decided to watch it last night. You know, it's not my favorite of the Jackass movies. I still think that the first one's probably the best one, but you know what you're getting with it. And it's pretty much...
How good did it feel to watch that, given like the state of the world where everything's like deadly serious and all that? We're just watching these dudes be jackasses. Like,
it's quite literally exactly the same as what everything's been, where it's just sort of, you know what Chris Pontius is going to do. He's going to have his dick out, and he's going to just kind of play that part. You know that Steve-O is going to get injured. You know that they're going to pick on Aaron. Like, you know, it's just, that was one that, because Caroline hadn't seen the other ones yet, but she was...
You watched the show growing up?
I watched it here and there. It wasn't like religiously watching it, but she thought it was hilarious how much they were picking on Aaron. And I'm like, yeah, he's completely the butters of the group and everything. It was weird that Bam isn't in it, but I guess that was something about he had tested positive for Adderall or whatever, so they like kicked him out. It's funny. It's exactly what you would imagine. A lot of the things are exactly the same as what they've done before. So if you're interested in watching the movie, watch 100%
it. 100% interested. I'm probably going to watch it on Saturday because that's my off day, but I'm 100% watching that movie this week.
Definitely let me know, and anybody else as well. Leave a comment what your favorite part of it was, because I don't know if I had a favorite part, but I do remember laughing pretty hard at the boxer that punches Aaron in the balls.
That's your humor.
Because it was just like, goddamn, like, to spoil it, they had apparently told him that they were going to get a lightweight boxer to test out the cup and punch him, and they get a heavyweight.
Well, of course.
And the first reaction that he has immediately upon seeing the guy is, that's not fucking lightweight. The guy dents the cup.
Oh.
Like, goddamn, you know? So I was telling Caroline about the butterbean thing and everything like about that at the time. So I recommend it if you are a fan of Jackass. It's not the best, but at the same time, like you said, after so much serious shit over the past couple of years, it was so fun to just kind of like put an hour and a half long, dumb, stupid, plotless movie on and just watch people do these stupid stunts. So Thumbs up on Jackass
We need
Forever.
more of that. Honestly, I think we need more of that.
I want to see more of that at WrestleMania. I want them to go full on with this anything goes match and just have fun.
Isn't that the best thing? It's like, okay, cool. It's an anything goes match. Of course it is. Let's go. Like, let's.
If it wouldn't have been, that would have been one of the chief complaints. Would have been, why did they not make this some kind of no DQ match or something?
Throw everybody in the Jackass cast at Sami Zayn. Like, I want to see Sami get a haluva kick on Knoxville and have Wee Man come flying in at Sami Zayn's face.
Blue Thunder Bomb on Wee Man.
Yeah, like why not? You know, like let's just do it as crazy as you can. Like that's where I'm at now. You know, if you're gonna have Logan Paul there, cool. If he looks great, even better. You just utilize this stuff. If you're gonna do it, go all the way. That's where I'm at now.
Yeah. So it gets a thumbs up from me. I think I only have 2 more hot tags left. I mean, one of them is going to take the bulk of this, but.
Well, you got the trademarks? Or the
that's one of them. WWE Grand Jury.
What is the trademark for?
Actually, I didn't double check that. Let me see if I can bring that up. I thought that it was, I mean, my gut reaction was this is probably going to be some kind of stable. Because it sounds like it would be that kind of a name.
Program, but let's see.
So the trademarks are goods and services, wrestling exhibitions, performances, via the internet, commercial online services, providing wrestling news and information via a global computer network, providing information in the fields of,
So I assume it'll be like the Bump Grand Jury or some shit. We'll see.
I mean, they did have that show that was The Great Debate. And I think it was the name of it. It was, oh God, I'm blanking on his name from the Bump. No, not Popola, not Matt Camp.
Dennis T. Mack?
Evan Mack, yeah. He was wearing like the old judicial wig thing, you know? So maybe they want to spin that off, and instead of doing it like, okay, it's the Great Debate, maybe we'll call it WWE Grand Jury and we'll have some kind of thing like that. My first thought was, okay, that's a stable. We are the WWE Grand Jury or whatever. But the fact that it's got WWE in it does kind of seem a little bit more like a show.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Hopefully they don't steal some from Smark at the moment.
It's Split Crowd, that's all.
It's just Split Crowd, and then they trademarked the Grand Jury name instead. Of course, like with anything else, if we get some kind of information about that, we'll let you know. When they do eventually show whatever it is, we'll check it out, we'll review it or whatever. Today is supposed to be the debut of WWE Evil, but I haven't seen it yet.
You say supposed to be? Is it not on the website?
Last time I checked, it wasn't. But then again, that's Peacock, so I don't know how that works. Yeah.
Fair.
I thought last week that we were in another situation where NXT UK was back to not being on at the right time. And I was just like, oh my God, do I got to fix America again? And it was just the whole time zone thing. But yeah, I'm not seeing WWE Evil up on the site right now. Oh no, actually, yeah, it is on here. We've got all the episodes available.
Really?
One shot. Good.
One shot? Oh, wow.
So.
Really?
Yeah, Hollywood Hogan's first, then The Miz, Sasha Banks, Brothers of Destruction, Randy Orton, Stephanie McMahon, Ric Flair, and Roman Reigns is the final episode. So I'll check it out. I mean, obviously we weren't going to have that ready and watch 8 episodes worth to do it on the hot tags, but maybe we'll lump that into next week's hot tags, talk about that. Maybe we'll do some kind of something or other. I don't know, maybe a bit of fan tracks or something. I don't know. We'll see. But the Grand Jury trademark is one of the only other things that I had written down. The other one for the hot tags we will get into in a moment, but first things first, I want to shout out our sponsors for this episode, which is, of course, Manscaped. And you should know by now, but if you don't, we have a promo code going on right there, where if you type in SMARK on the website for the coupon, you get yourself free shipping and 20% off on every single order you could possibly imagine, whether you're buying the boxers or you're picking up some ball toner or checking out the Shears kit or something along those lines, anything that you want to order, 20% off and free shipping. So that adds up quite a bit, especially if you're getting one of the package deals, which I fully recommend. If you want to get the most bang for your buck, then get those packages, and then you could try out a whole bunch of different products. And then going forward, if you want to pick up the same sort of things, get another package of that. But you could get renewal subscriptions for things like the razor blades and all. On the screen right now, you could see that there's this crop exfoliator and stuff, but there's also the little tiny razor. And that thing is so useful. And again, same was with everything else. They have that skin safe technology that's going on. So I've never once cut myself with a single thing from Manscaped, including the bottle of the cologne that I broke the other day. I did not cut myself on that, which is not covered under the advanced skin safe technology. But, you shatter glass all over the place. There's a chance that you could do that. That didn't even cause a problem because it was so sturdy and thick that it just broke in like 3 big chunks and stuff. So every part of their products are very well made, and I'm very interested to try out this new package that they have. I haven't gotten it yet. Actually, I got an email when we started recording this that says that there is a package that I should be able to pick up, so it might be one of those.
I got that. So I got the Ultimate Performance package, and it does come with deodorant, body spray, another bottle of the shampoo and conditioner and body wash, and some lip balm. And everything smells great. I got the deodorant right here in case, hot Florida weather.
Hot tags.
Nobody wants to go around smelling hot tags. Got the deodorant right here just in case. But everything smells fantastic. It feels great. Obviously, all the products are great. Get yourself some Manscaped. Use the code SMARK.
Yeah. SMARK, 20% off and free shipping. Take advantage of it while you can, everybody. Pick up a bunch of stuff. Tell us what you like in the comments below. And thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring us. So let's move on to that final major hot tag that we have going on here, which is the AEW 2021 Awards. Not ours. We already did that at the end of the year, like people should. I always thought that that's weird when it's like March and you're going, oh, what happened in 2021? At the very least, started at January, But they decided to do it here, I guess, just because it's WrestleMania week and you can kind of play around with it like that, or maybe they just needed some extra time. Whatever it is, we've got a list of these like dozen or so different awards. I did not watch the actual awards show yet. Did you check it out?
I didn't, but I did see a fun blooper with Punk and Baker, where Punk is, getting the best on the mic award, and Baker comes out and she's like, this should have been me. So they cut, and then Punk is like thanking her. I guess I couldn't have done it without Britt Baker. And they try to move on to the WTF award, and Punk's just like, we can't say fuck. And Baker goes, I don't know, can we say the word? And she goes, no, we have to say WTF. And he goes, well, that's stupid. Why can't we call it the what the fuck award? And she's like, we have to keep him happy. We have to keep CM Punk happy. He wants to say fuck. We have to keep him here. We have to keep him happy. Can we at least say fuck? I thought that was fun because, obviously, to another person, CM Punk is a big star and would be like, well, blue M&Ms only, kind of thing. So that was a fun little moment, but I didn't actually watch the awards ceremony.
So we got, let's break down, the winners, the nominees, that kind of thing. I don't know, start arbitrarily here. High Flyer. The nominees who lost were Penta, Rey Fenix, Riho. Surprised about that. Pac. And then the winner was Dante Martin.
Yeah.
I mean,
actually, yeah, he can fight. The dude does a sunset flip while the sun's going down, and they're like at the same height.
Yeah,
like he can jump.
I could understand him winning. I don't know if I would necessarily pick him, but at the same time, I don't know who I would necessarily pick over him. It's kind of hard.
It's either him or Phoenix.
Right, like he is kind of making a name for himself in that fashion. His tag team name is Top Flight, after all. And, despite the fact that the Lucha Bros can do what they can do and everything, I certainly wouldn't have picked Riho for it. I don't even remember, like, anything she's done this past year. I think she had, like, a match or two with Baker. And God knows like how many other matches, but with me not watching Dark, I don't remember a damn thing. So to me, Riho, I don't even know why she necessarily got nominated unless it was just sort of, let's throw somebody from the women's division on here. Then really at that point, it's not like you could put like Jade Cargill on the high flyer list. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, makes sense. But there are so many different people that could have gotten this too, you know, at least nominees. So it is what it is. Certainly not something the hill to die on. Best Mike Duel nominees were Inner Circle and The Pinnacle. Parlay. Hangman Adam Page meets Bryan Danielson. Inner Circle calls out Dan Lambert. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, which I thought was overrated. A lot of people went nuts over.
It was, I think what happened there was, hey, Ruby gets to say something.
Yeah.
You know, like, when does Ruby ever get to say anything?
But the winner, of course, MJF and CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Can't call that a bad decision. I mean, look at it. It's Punk and MJF. The whole point's these two can talk, you know? I do remember liking the Inner Circle stuff, though, quite a bit.
You were one of the only ones.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of people felt like the shtick was dated. You know? And fair point. I do like that Jericho's leaning into it now. He's a sports entertainer and stuff like that.
What's the next one we're going to go? Best Tag Team Brawl. This one...
Brawl, that's such a weird specific category.
Yeah, that took me by surprise that was the thing. Because it's just like, you know, I mean, I'm used to my awards, obviously, and I'm biased, of course. I'm the one that made my awards. But to me, it's sort of like, okay, well, you know, best move of the year, best high spot of the year, that kind of thing. Best Tag Team Brawl. Not even best Brawl in that fashion, but best Tag Team Brawl. You got
a flex, though. They're just like...
We have so many tag teams, and how great are they? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was the winners were Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros in the Steel Cage. Pretty obviously. But you had Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. You got 2.0 against Sting and Darby Allin. You got the New Year's Eve street fight between the Bunny and Penelope Ford against Tay Conchi and Anna Jay. And you got Lucha Bros against Jurassic Express in the Tag Team Eliminator Finals. So most of these things are memorable. And of course, the Steel Cage is even more memorable because that match was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and that's also probably a way to give that match of the year without giving it match of the year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a great match.
Best AEW fashion moment. Again, to me, it's like I have best ring gear or best clothing attire or whatever. Best fashion moment. Tai Conchi at Full Gear was listed. Hikaru Shida's anniversary dress. Chris Jericho as the Painmaker should not be on this list at all. I hate that look. The Toon Squad of the Super Elite, which is fun. But they gave it to the Britsburg jacket from Britt Baker. I don't think I would have gone in that direction.
I would have picked something with the Young Bucks.
Yep, I think I would have too. I don't remember what I gave last year.
When they did the pink at Full Gear and Jackson has the pink in his beard for some reason, probably giving it to that because it's funny.
So I had down as clothing and attire for last year my bests, because of course they're not going to do the worst. Only I do that. My bests were Cody Rhodes from Double or Nothing. I believe that was his tribute to the boys with Homelander. Pretty sure. Jade Cargill from March 3rd. I don't remember at all what that was. I think it's just because her ring gear tends to be good. Tai Conchi, Young Bucks, Red Velvet. Maybe that's just because she's attractive. I don't remember. And Penta's Double or Nothing Joker outfit, which I thought was really cool. So I'm surprised that didn't at least get nominated. Speaking of Tai Conchi at Full Gear with best fashion moment, though, the tweet from last night.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's... Her and Sammy have sex. What can you say?
They're leaning so heavily into that, aren't they?
They're a very young and happy couple, and they make it known.
Yeah, I don't blame them. But some people are all like, oh, they're insufferable now. And it's like, yeah, you fucking really? Come on. You know?
How miserable do you have to be? Like, I'm single, and we've had discussions about that, but I'm not like angry. I'm not angry for these people for being happy. Like,
oh, these goddamn hot people talking about how they fuck all the
how they're
time.
hot. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm imagining they were doing the little angry,
Shaking the fist.
yeah, that kind of thing. That's where somebody says like, what do you think of the children? You know, it's kind of best Twitter follow.
Nyla
Sure,
Rose won that, right?
Nyla Rose. I don't follow any of them on Twitter, so I don't know. But Young Bucks, MJF, Britt Baker, and Orange Cassidy were also nominated, and the only ones that I know that I've paid any attention to on Twitter is MJF. Well, actually, no. MJF about what he tweets, Young Bucks for what they put their profile as.
They're very funny.
I don't remember ever having a Nyla Rose tweet be something that caught my attention.
She's very good, like she's very snarky. She can easily snap back at people, and I get like if you follow that, great. It's my job to follow it, but even I don't really follow it. You know, like sorry, Twitter bugs me out sometimes. You know, like
I hate Twitter. I hate it so much. Best moment on the mic, we've got CM Punk returns is the win, which of course
as it
makes
should be.
sense.
Like that moment will live forever. If AEW dies tomorrow, that moment lives forever.
They had Eddie Kingston is sent to punish Miro. Bryan Danielson calls out Kenny Omega. Britt Baker welcomes fans to Pittsburgh. And then the other one, which I really, really liked, was MJF doing the whole mid with the Midwest thing. I still think that was fucking hilarious. They call it Midwest because everything is mid. And then he's just like, you know, I started naming somebody. I forget who it was, but it was like, I don't know, like the Young Bucks. Mid. Like, okay, I like this. But CM Punk returning makes more sense. I get it.
Yeah.
That would have ultimately got my vote too. Biggest surprise, no surprise, Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson popping up.
Yeah. That was a great moment. Month of August was really cool for them. You know, it was a really cool month.
And that way blows out Formation of the Pinnacle, Darby Allin returning as the Invisible Man, Young Bucks turning on Jon Moxley, which is like, you know, you can see that coming. And Mercedes Martinez. I love Mercedes Martinez, but, you know, her appearance in AEW is not as much of a game changer as Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, one after the other. So, no surprises there. Biggest WTF moment, as you mentioned, you can't say what the fuck, but you got Matt Jackson with the Travis Scott shoe with the tax in it, which was very, like, every time they do tax, I'm just like, no. I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't even want to be a referee. Fuck that.
Yeah. Like Aubrey just said she's bleeding throughout the entirety of Rampage after refereeing the cage match. She refereed the tail end of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's because she's slapping her fist on top of a bunch of tacks. And it's like,
yeah.
You know, was it Bryce Remsburg was the one that had done the other match recently where it was just like, you see him just kind of shaking his fist, just kind of like, like there's tacks in it. And it's like, fuck yeah, I mean, you're slapping it. Like, it's awful. I wouldn't do that. But that was one of the losers. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston take a drive was listed as one. Paige turns down the Dark Order was a WTF moment. The Long Island homecoming for MJF was, but the New Year's Eve street fight ended up winning that.
Oh my God. That was a great match.
Do you think that the Bunny, maybe Penelope Ford, maybe the other ones too, but do you think that they're going to top that at any point in their careers, or do you think that that's
Probably
the peak?
Might be the peak for everybody. Like, I think Ty will go on to have bigger moments, but like in terms of match, like that's going to be hard.
Then you have the biggest beatdown was, for nominees at least go, Thunder Rosa takes down Britt Baker, Bryan Danielson kicks Colt Cabana's tooth out, Pinnacle takes down Inner Circle at Blood and Guts, Men of the Year send Darby Allin on a trip. Yeah, that was funny. And the winner was the 60-minute match, Paige and Bryan. I don't know if I would constitute that a biggest beatdown.
Well, it was a great match. I don't know if it was a beatdown.
Right. Like hell of a match. Fantastic match. biggest beatdown, especially compared to the other things. That's not a beatdown. It's a match. You know?
Yeah.
So that's strange to me. I don't know. I don't quite understand that. Then we got the breakout star for the male and female awards, which
win for the female?
No
Jade.
Cesar Bononi.
Or did Jade win? Because Jade probably won.
For the women, Ty Conchi was nominated. Jamie Hayter was nominated. Chris Statlander was nominated. Red Velvet was nominated, and the winner was Jade Cargill. Yeah. But I mean, could you vote anybody else? She won the TBS championship. She's undefeated.
I think so highly of Ty though, because I just think like we were all just like, she left WWE. What are you gonna do? The Tanara Conchi. Who is she? Like, and then she just shows up and just kicks ass. So it's like, hell yeah, I want her to just have the best career.
But
Jade Cargill's a fucking star, and
right?
That is
Jade Cargill's 29-0 and a champion. And WWE immediately looks at her and goes, how can we get her? You know? So as much as Ty Conchi has vastly improved to the point where it's like, yeah, give her a championship. She's great. That kind of thing. Cargill gets to vote. Breakout star for the men. The options were Dante Martin, Jungle Boy, Ricky Starks, Hook, and the winner was Sammy Guevara. I don't think that necessarily makes a whole lot of sense either, because Sammy Guevara was the first match on Dynamite.
Yeah, like he's been there for a while.
Yeah, he's been there from the start.
I would put Hook.
Same here. Like, maybe Dante Martin, because this year was really much like, let's start giving attention to Dante Martin. Jungle Boy's been there from the start. Ricky Starks was there in 2020, right?
Yes.
I think so. But it's like, Hook just blew up a couple months ago. So, I mean, I get that they would give Sammy Guevara the win as far as he won championships and stuff.
Shit like that, but like so, people had better years.
And it's like...
Or more breakout years, I should say.
That's the difference to me is, yeah, the breakout star shouldn't be somebody who had been established as part of one of the major factions.
Inner Circle, and he's done so many major moments for this company already. I agree.
Yeah. Wrestler of the Year nominees were Miro, Danielson, which I do not understand.
It should be Danielson.
Danielson was one of the nominations, but he did not win. Britt Baker was nominated. Hangman Adam Page was nominated. Darby Allin was nominated. Hikaru Shida was nominated, and the winner was Kenny Omega.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I don't think I would have put Shida, Miro, or Allin on the list.
You gotta put Shida because she was champion for a good portion of
Baker.
The time the company existed.
Baker was, I mean, she's on here, but Baker was champion longer, I think.
Yeah, I think Shida did more with the belt. As funny as that is to say.
And Miro, I mean, he had a cool, relatively short run with the TNT Championship, but then he just disappeared and he's been gone for months. So, Wrestler of the Year nominee? I don't know.
He's God's favorite champion.
To me, that's a spot where I'd be like, maybe you throw in a Jungle Boy, because Jungle Boy kicks ass like twice a week, if not more. Sometimes he wrestles on Dark and Dynamite and Rampage. That kid fucking works. And every match that he has is at least decent, if not great. So I don't know why they don't have Jungle Boy on the list. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little biased for that. But Kenny Omega winning Wrestler of the Year makes sense. He was the champion. He was the top dog. He was putting on some great matches. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I mean, it's not like the AEW Awards have any kind of bearing on our awards and our ability to pick our favorites and stuff, but it's interesting to see what happens when you get like the Slammies, which we didn't get this year.
We haven't gotten for a while. Oh no, wait,
we had it last year.
Pandemic? Yeah.
So I don't know why they didn't do it this year, which is dumb because it's so easy to do. Just get the bump people to do it and then call out a day, you know. But at least AEW has figured out a way to do theirs, and something else for us to talk about, especially on a week like this where there's not much going on. So, any other thoughts on the AEW Awards?
Good concept. I hope to see them fleshed out. I don't like things being digital exclusive, but I'm old, I guess. Whatever.
I get it, because it's like, what else are you going to do with it? You know, you can put it up on YouTube. And
the Slammies being a 3-hour episode of Brawl. I thought that was a fun way to slice in these fun interactions. I mean, for God's sake, he used Slammies to get to Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker too. Like, use these plot devices. That's just I'm old and cranky, and I miss being young. Like, I
guess
the
there's
90s.
Listen to
that 90s song by Peter Jackson.
Yeah, check out the 90s thing. If I could do it the way that I would want them to do it, I would want them to have the Slammy Awards as, I mean, I still would rather the WWE Network be the WWE Network, but I think that makes more sense as like a special, just that they film ahead of time. But if you're going to put it up on something like YouTube, well, it's the same thing. It's just on YouTube, you know? So I like it like this more so than for them to just pepper in some awards throughout the night on Dynamite.
That's fair.
There is one more hot tag I forgot to mention. And this one is about Gable Steveson. He had won his latest wrestling match, and he's done. He's going to be at WrestleMania, and then he deletes the tweet. So, of course, it's like, you're not supposed to let that know. But, of course, we knew he was going to be there. But he said recently on the MMA Hour about his real name. And the quote, according to the transcription here, is, "I'll just be Gable Steveson. We're going to have a talk with him. I mean, I don't know when I'm even going to talk to him. It could be WrestleMania. It could be somewhere else. I'm just not sure. You can't have two Gables. You can't. But right now we do. So there might have to be a little switcheroo. I don't know, but I love Chad too. He's a cool dude." What do you think is going to end up happening with this? Because we know that WWE does play this really stupid game where they're like, let's get rid of Nikki Cross's Cross name because we got Karrion Kross, so she could be Nikki ASH, because we don't want two people with the name Cross.
First of all, I think Gable, if they announce it, is winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Second of all, don't fucking go after Chad Gable's name. We already did the Shorty G shit. Don't do that to Chad. He's finally over. Like, come on.
I think they're changing Chad's name.
Why?
Because
listen here, Gable. Why don't you go fight them about your brother being, what the fuck's his name on NXT?
Damon Kemp.
Damon Kemp. Why aren't you Gable Kemp?
Yeah. Well, see, the Gable Steveson thing, I don't know anything about this guy other than what I've been cursory told. Like, he is a great amateur wrestler. That's all I know. That and what he looks like and what his name is. So I can't tell you if he could cut a promo. I can't tell you if he's going to actually be good in the ring. I can't tell you how fucking tall he is, because I've never seen him standing next to somebody. He could be somebody who looks short compared to a Drew McIntyre or something, you know? But if you're going to bank on him the way that they've been banking on him, which is like, please be the next big thing, you can tell that there's so much desperation. He has to still be Gable Steveson. You can't just make him like Gable Williams or Steve Johnson. I don't know. I would be fine with them just keeping Chad Gable the way that it is, because it's like, you know, I'm not a fucking idiot. I can tell which one's which.
No, but in fairness, I do want to acknowledge there are times where it's annoying, where it's like Adam and Cage and Page.
Page into Page. And yeah.
There are times where it's like, I get it, you know? Yeah.
And it would be annoying, I'm sure, to WWE if the fans are chanting Gable. Like, Gable. And it's like, okay, well, are they chanting for Chad Gable or whatever? Because Gable is not a name that's, you know.
Like the AEW people did, where they're like, let's go, Adam. And they're like, yeah, they're chanting for Adam. You could spin it like that and just leave it alone.
Or you could get Pat McAfee to do, when they're chanting, God, what was it? They were chanting Hershey's Chocolate, and he said, they're chanting Zaya's got it.
Oh, God.
Zia Lee's got it, or something like. Shout out to Pat McAfee for trying his best there. I do think that they're going to change Chad Gable's name. I think that they're going to give him some sort of thing where, because they're loving this idea of him doing the shush and I got the big brain on me. I'm the this 4.0 average and all that. I think that he's going to end up having another
Professor
nickname.
Chad. He's going to be Professor Chad.
You know what? That could end up being the thing. It could be Professor Chad of Alpha Academy. Yeah.
I hope it's not Professor Chad. I hope it's not. Oh my God, that's awful.
You put it out there. If it happens, blame Rob. I mean, they could go worse. They could call him Shushy Chad.
Chad Shush.
Chad the Shush Professor. There you go.
Shush Man Chad.
Whatever it is, though, it is interesting that he's just sort of like, I'm not changing my name, which it's kind of giving me vibes of Kurt Angle being like, well, I'm not going to be a bad guy and lose.
Here's another one. Kofi Kingston, I'm writing this article as we speak. So I just want to get your thoughts on it. Kofi Kingston just talked about E breaking his neck being the scariest moment of his career. Obviously, E tweeted that, he's
narrowly avoided paralysis and everything.
He could have died, and actually, Kofi's like, yeah, the doctor said if it went 1 millimeter in this direction, it would have been a stroke, and 1 millimeter in the other direction, and he would have been dead. It's like, it's so sobering. But then on the flip side of that, he's saying, I have no idea what I'm doing for WrestleMania. I hope Woods is back.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to add New Day and, was it Viking Raiders and Ridge and maybe they'll do Gauntlet or a Tag Team Turmoil or something.
No, I don't think that they're going to do anything other than Boogs and Nakamura against Usos. I think that they're going to end up doing what I mentioned before. I think Ricochet is going to team with the New Day against Sheamus, Butch, and Ridge.
No. Well, how do you see this going?
I think that they're just going to have like maybe Woods comes out on this episode of SmackDown from tomorrow, and maybe it's like, okay, well, the New Day's got Xavier Woods back and whatever, but it's still a 3-on-2 scenario because Big E has been injured. Oh my God, what are they going to do? They can't fight anybody off just with the outnumbered kind of thing. And then Ricochet comes and he helps him out, and then it's like, okay, well, we got an ally in Ricochet because they have set up nothing for the Intercontinental Championship.
Did I mention on the NXT podcast that Carmelo Hayes is smarter than 90% of the roster because he knows how to book a match for himself?
But see, if I were working for WWE, like if they hired me today and they said, how can you contribute to the WrestleMania card? That would be something that I would pitch, because I'd be like, look, it's too late to build up an Intercontinental Championship match. But what we can do to try to maximize this, because I hate this WrestleMania SmackDown thing, and I'm hoping that they don't, well, I'll put it this way. I'm hoping that they don't forego the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And if the option is to do it on SmackDown or to not do it at all, I'd rather them do it on SmackDown. But I don't think it should happen on SmackDown. I think it should happen on the actual pay-per-view, and it should be Omos. And I think Veer should be in it and everything. But I would pitch the 6-man because I'd be like, look, if we just do Ridge and Butch against Woods and Kofi, why does it matter? And then you got the Intercontinental Champion not on the card. Do the 6-man, make it the kickoff match, because then people won't care. It's the kickoff. And then play around with the WrestleMania SmackDown thing and have it be like, all right, Ricochet came out and he helped Woods and Kofi. And later on in the same episode of SmackDown from tomorrow, Sheamus is pissed and he's like, why are you sticking your nose in our business? I thought I was done with you. I've beaten you multiple times in this past couple of months. If you want to be in this fight, then, we're going to go on your ass too. I want an Intercontinental Championship match.
I was going to say, if you're going to be in this fight, then you've got to give me
And then
if you lose, then I get your Intercontinental title.
And then the match on SmackDown next week is Intercontinental Championship. Ricochet defends against Sheamus. If Ricochet wins, they have a 6-man tag at WrestleMania. If Sheamus wins, he wins the Intercontinental Championship. If Ricochet wins, and then there you go. Yep. It's not at all what I would want to do. Well, then you're not doing the match at WrestleMania. But
well, you can still do the match at WrestleMania. I just think Sheamus needs to be Intercontinental Champion.
I think he needs to win it, but maybe they come around with it after Mania or something. I don't know.
You got nothing else going on. Just put the match on Mania. What do you need? What do you need a story for? You've determined that you don't need those. But
anyway,
I don't know.
Those are the hot tags as far as Thursday afternoon prior to NXT UK. Maybe something crazy awesome happens on NXT UK. Maybe something happens on SmackDown, or at least just during the day.
In the news, yeah.
Yeah. So if that happens, you'll find out about it in some fashion. We're not going to do any kind of like supplemental hot tags or something, but we'll lump it into
a breaking news podcast if
something huge happens, then we'll figure something out. But I don't expect that to be the case. But we're not going to jump on for an extra podcast to talk about an extra trademark or something. So whatever it is, we'll carry that on into the next round of discussions in the next hot tags, or we'll factor that into the breakdown of WrestleMania coming next week or something. And we still are waiting on some of that Hall of Fame news. It's going to be the week before WrestleMania.
What the hell, dude?
And they still haven't bothered to announce more than 3 people for the Hall of Fame. Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's really strange. It's really kind of making me feel like maybe WrestleMania just kind of they don't care anymore about the Hall of Fame.
Maybe they don't care with the Hall of Fame, but I wonder if the Hall of Fame was like another one of those like Triple H projects. Like, oh, we should make it a big deal and everybody gets into the Hall of Fame. Now, granted, you can say they were doing major Hall of Fame classes beforehand, but maybe they're just in that phase right now where nobody cares about the past. Let's honor Taker and Vader and Sharmell. I still think we get the Steiners, but we'll see. And, we'll go from there.
It's weird that a company that spends so much time and effort promoting every little stupid thing that like people wouldn't care about, like guaranteed if, I don't know, Doja Cat, there's a name to drop, tweeted out, oh yeah, I love watching WWE.
They tried to get Cardi for SummerSlam.
Like somebody like that does that, they make a big deal out of it. It's like, oh, did you see that this person tweeted out that they are a WWE fan? Oh my God, see, you should be a fan. You should, whatever, that kind of thing. And then we'll get something like next week. They'll be like, yeah, I guess Shad Gaspard's in the Hall of Fame. She did something. And then it's like, oh my God, can you give this guy a shout out, like for what he did?
It's, we didn't talk about, because I wrote this article too, and I want to get your opinion on it. Titus O'Neil randomly saying last week that he was not done.
I didn't even know that was the thing.
He's like, yeah, I had a knee procedure and I'm rehabbing from that. And I'm like, you telling me that Titus O'Neil might just pop up as a wrestler again one day? He even said, like, yeah, we might be bringing back Titus Worldwide. I'm like, okay. Like, well, we'll see where that goes.
I don't expect much out of it, but power to him, In any fashion, though, that is the latest episode of the Hot Tag, so we want to thank you guys for listening to it. We want you to keep the discussion going in the comments section below. Tell us what you thought about all these topics and more. And stay tuned to everything happening on smarkoutmoment.com. Just follow us on Facebook and Twitter at smarkoutmoment. Go to the website. Subscribe to this YouTube channel here. If you're listening on the audio-only platforms, hit us up with some kind of 5-star rating or something on Spotify or whatever it is, iTunes or Amazon Music or something. I don't know, whatever you're checking us out on. But do the same thing for fanboysanonymous.com. Check out everything that's happening over there. Follow me at Tony Mango and follow Rob at Dude Felice.
Yeah, follow me everywhere at Dude Felice. I really do appreciate it. I will eventually, maybe by the time WrestleMania is over, have more news on a website. I do plan on getting way more into, the movies and the games, especially as we ramp up to E3 and there's just so much more I want to do just in the world in general outside of wrestling, as much as wrestling is my first love, it's I like other things too. So hopefully we'll get to see more of that throughout the year.
All right, everybody. Hopefully we will get to see more of you in our next episode with you tuning back in. We are going to run down the WrestleMania stuff next week with our pay-per-view point. We're going to get into Stand and Deliver after that. We're going to get into WrestleMania post shows after that. Busy week coming up. I'm a little bit scared. Every year when we come around to this point, I'm always just kind of like, oh man.
You know what's crazy? I think because I'm not into the cards as heavily, I'm not as like nervous. I'm just sort of like, yeah, it's gonna be a lot, but meh, I don't feel as ramped up as I did last year and the year before and the year before.
I'm looking at my to-do list and I'm getting that anxiety. I'm like, oh, I've got so many articles I have to write. You will find them all over the place. And until then, everybody, we'll see you next time. And for now, this has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.